third day and also the first special event of this new year. And we are starting today's event with the students performing to Madhurashtakam, a classical dance. And this Madhurashtakam actually is composed by Sri Vallabhacharya, which is a unique stotra describing the sweetness of Lord Krishna. The poet has used one adjective, Madhuram, meaning sweet or beautiful, etc., to describe the lovely attributes of Lord Sri Krishna, a beautiful form, who is the master of sweetness and sweetness personified. It is evident from the Ashtakam that the devotee is fascinated to have a look at not only the beautiful divine sweet form, Sarvanga Sundara Rupam of Lord Sri Krishna, but also the very existence of the Lord by the way of his moves, plays, and pastimes. So, and also just to give you a heads up, we are facing some technical challenges trying to project the audio of the song. You will all be able to see the kids performing the dance, their nrita and abhinaya, but the audio we are unable to project. So sorry for any inconvenience caused. We would now project from the temple room where they are participating.
Thank you, Poonam Mataji.
Let me check once more. Aeroplane mode, somebody took it off. Okay.
That's wonderful performance by kids. Now I'm requesting Purnamasi Mataji to give the thank you note. Hare Krishna Purnamasi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Wanted to thank immensely our dear Puja Mataji, for actually teaching these kids. Actually, Puja Mataji is an exponent of Bharatnatyam, and she's touched the hearts of many with her soulful performances across the globe. And for her, dance is a form of bhakti yoga and her attempt to seek the divine. She is the disciple of Padma Shri Adayar K. Lakshman, with whom she was fortunate to have studied in the traditional Gurukulam style, where she resided with her teacher's family, imbibing the nuances of Bharatnatyam. She is a graded artist with Doordarshan National Television. She now continues her learning journey with Padma Bhushan Alarmel Valli. So Austin is really very fortunate to have such a great personality like Puja Mataji to teach our kids this divine art form. Thank you so much, Puja Mataji, for your sincere and your perfectionism. It's just, I'm in awe with all your little attention to detail. So we're very, very grateful for teaching the kids. Thank you. Satrupa Prabhu, you can.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for kind words about Puja Mataji. Now, the next part of our program, Sunday Feast program, is a special Sunday Feast lecture by His Grace Jagannath Priya Prabhu. Now, I am requesting Satyasara Prabhu to introduce him.
Hare Krishna devotees, thank you all for joining. Hare Krishna Jagannath Priya Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Srila Prabhu. Hare
Pranam.
Krishna.
Pranam.
May I introduce you to the audience?
Yes.
Thank you. So, devotees, we have a very, very special guest with us today. It's my absolute honor and privilege to introduce His Grace Jagannath Priya Prabhu from India. So, here is a brief introduction of Prabhu. Prabhuji is a speaker on Vedic literatures, namely the Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, and Mahabharata, with a special interest in practical application of religion and spirituality on individual and social levels. He holds a Bachelor of Engineering Mechanical and held the role of Director of Special Effects for films and TV before he took to monastic life. So Jagannath Priya Prabhu routinely conducts programs and seminars focused on Dharma, leadership, and practical Vedic application across India, US, Europe, Middle East, and Southeast Asia. He is the editor-in-chief of the magazine Dharma Today. He is also the chief mentor to Dharma Gurukul, the cultural program for teens. So you can see more on www.dharmagurukul.com, www.dharmatoday.com. So he has been serving in the development of spiritual community in Thane and Mumbai since 23 years. He lives a monastic life and is associated with ISKCON Chowpatty. We are very fortunate to have His Grace Jagannath Priya Prabhu with us today. Let's welcome Prabhu by loudly chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra one time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I would like to request devotees, whoever can switch on your video so Prabhu can see all of us. So with that, Jagannath Priya Prabhu, over to you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you all very much for having me here this morning. I was trying to be in Austin this week, but since the program was online and because of the rising unfortunate cases of Omicron, so I'm not there. It would have been a great pleasure to be amongst all of you in person. It's been a long time since many of us have done some satsang in person with each other. So before I begin, let us offer our prayers to our acharyas. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So nice to see all of you, all of the beautiful names and some of the faces. And suddenly, due to the unfortunate rise of cases in last 1 week, so many programs have gone online. After a very long wait, people were thinking that this year will be a good beginning with in-person 31st December celebrations and then 1st Jan and so on. But anyways, just like if you meet a drunkard who is very fascinated, always likes to drink, they are always looking for the weekend of Friday. And if during the weekdays they have some days which are very stressful, they'll go and call their friend and say, hey, today is a very stressful day. Come, let's go and drink. Sometimes it's a very joyful event. So they'll call their friend and say, today I'm so happy. Come over, let's have a drink. And sometimes when there is nothing special happening, they are so bored and they'll call each other and say, what's going on? Say, nothing special, just feeling bored. Nothing good, nothing bad. They'll say, okay, just come over, let's have a drink. So for somebody who loves to drink, whether it's a good time, bad time, or kind of a neutral time, they always find reason. In a similar way, devotees of the Lord are like that. In good times, they want to chant, sing, and celebrate. They want reasons to celebrate. They want reasons to come for satsang. They want reasons to sing the holy names. So although in the traditions of Sanatan Dharma or Vedic literature, the 31st December and the 1st of Jan, etc., may not have its own significant importance that way. But devotees like some occasions, some reasons to come together and celebrate and sing and do kirtan and so on. So in that spirit, it's all okay that some celebrations keep going on as long as the thoughts of the Lord are going on in our minds. The only purpose, the only one singular purpose of the human form of life is to recognize that we are not just this body, that we are the spirit soul and the truth beyond this body, the Atma and Paramatma. This is the sole purpose. There is no other purpose in being a human being. You may be fascinated to know that in this entire ecosystem of as many lakhs of species of lives which are known to the science, like, let's say, we may feel that a spider is not such a useful element in the whole ecosystem. If you remove a spider, or you remove a sparrow, you remove a pigeon or a crow, any one single insect you remove, it has like it's like it has a domino effect in destroying the ecosystem. So if one species goes, it is connected to the other species in such a way that the whole ecosystem gets destabilized. And this is well recorded by science, but you will be surprised to know that there is one species, if that is removed from the ecosystem, there is no impact on the ecosystem. Can anybody tell me what could that species be? You can guess. You can unmute yourself if somebody has answered.
Human beings.
Yeah, exactly. Can you imagine you remove a lion, tiger, a squirrel, a sparrow? It's going to affect 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, hundreds of other species. The human being gone out of the ecosystem has zero impact. This is actually not just an amusing thing. It's a very deep thing which we have to understand. That my presence as a human being on this planet, as far as the external creation is concerned, has no contribution as such. Like, I'm not going to act or behave. I'm not limited to act and behave in a certain manner that because of me, something is going to progressively move forward. If you have a small fish, you have a shark, you have a whale, you have a crocodile, and so on. Each species is bound to its own characteristics in such a limited manner that it cannot dare to go beyond itself. So there is no chance that any single species of life will violate the order of nature. It is just not possible because they don't have that strength or that ability to do so. That is why their lives, their bodies, their minds, and their activities are designed in such a way that even if they appear to do apparently some kind of violent activities like wild animals and so on, essentially they are just part of a chain of an ecosystem, of a cycle. But human being per se has zero value. That is how the human being is made to be. So our scriptures say, Ahara nidra bhayamaithunam cha samanyam etat pashubhi naranam dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesho dharmena hina pashubhi saman. In some other places, this verse specifically means eating, sleeping, being afraid, the sense of protection, bhaya, and maithun, the sense of mating, eating, sleeping, mating, and as Prabhupada says, defending, because defense is form of a bhaya, fear, is common between humans and animals, and they are just naturally bound to do this. Dharmo hi tesham adhiko visheshu. Amongst all these species, tesham means amongst all of them, dharma is adhika vishesha, is the greater thing. In some other places, this verse dharma is replaced by the word buddhi. Buddhi hi tesham adhiko vishesho. The intellect is the greater thing which human being has as compared to other species. Now, this intellect is different from just a normal, let's say, not here, it doesn't mean intellect, it specifically means intelligence. There is difference between intelligence and intellect. The ability to think or reason beyond your own limitations is something which is special. Like a dog can never think like a lion. A cat can never think like a fish. But a human being can think like a dog, can think like a cat, can think like a fish, as a dolphin or as a whale or so on. And what is the proof? It is because that you can think like them that you can train them. If other species could think like you or had any intelligence, or they could imagine that, okay, how does a human being function, then they would be successful to train us. But the fact is, it is only human being who trains every single species. It can control every other species, or even those species who are powerful than itself. Like we have no control of ourselves underwater because we are not a water-based species. Still, we can control the species in water, we can control the species in the sky, we can fly in the sky, and so on, because we have that ability to go beyond ourselves. This is the whole understanding of this particular thing. And therefore, having got this form, just as every species has a specific ability and a specific purpose to establish in this creation, similarly, we also have a specific purpose that we must inquire. So in the Brahma Sutras, there is a very beautiful term which comes, Athato Brahma Jigyasa. It says, now inquire unto the truth. So what does that mean? What does this word now mean? So there has been a great debate amongst many acharyas, not exactly a debate, but a discussion. Suppose you go, now there is a discussion of humans trying to colonize Mars and so on. Now I want you to participate with me in this question. Suppose you go to Mars and you see a board there, do not enter. What are the conclusions that you can come? What are the conclusions that you can derive when you see that board? Please, all of you answer. Whoever is there can listen.
That place is not suitable for their entry there.
Okay, not suitable for entry. Okay, what else?
The authority over there does not want anybody to come over there.
Yeah, the authority does not want to come anybody to come over there. That also means that there is an authority over there. It's not an uninhabited place. Okay, good point.
Very good.
Yes, what else? Think about all the possibilities, all the conclusions you could come. Think like a detective. Suppose you get into a house in an isolated place, in a desert or in a cave, and there is a message. That's why I said you are in Mars. The first human being and sees a board written, do not enter.
We are not equipped to adapt to that environment.
Okay, we are not equipped in adapt to that environment. That's also one conclusion. Think more.
You feel that no one lives there, so you do not try to take permission from them before going there, and then you find out that there is no one lives there.
Okay, that's also there. Go to more fundamental conclusions.
Or could be there is no need for us to go there. And why are we making that attempt to go there?
There is no need. Very good. But more fundamental. I want you to think more fundamental. You are thinking from instructive sense. For example, when I say do not do this, so then you are interpreting that thing from an instructive sense, that what I need to follow and so on. Think more fundamental. Yes, you are mute, Abhay and Rohini. I see you speaking, but
No, Prabhu, I just try to answer,
Yeah.
just explaining my wife.
Okay, your wife was. I thought you were telling me.
So I think main message is you are not welcome there is the thing. The fundamental thing is that place is you are with lot of hardship you are going there. So But there is a do not enter sign there, and that means that this is a dangerous place for you. It's not meant for you here.
Okay. So let's see if I can add a few more conclusions. Now, I have an engineering background. I also have a, background in Sanskrit and some research things. So I'll think like a researcher. So when I go to Mars, nobody has been to that place first. Okay. Now I as soon as I enter and see a board, the first thing I come to know, oh, there is someone who understands that I understand English. Correct? That's a very important thing which I come to know. Irrespective of what the message is, the first thing that there is a message in English, that means there is a language of English which is common to that person and me. Second, it may not be common, but that person knows my language. And that person also knows the meaning of these words, what they mean. Correct? Because if it was a random arrangement of alphabets by the science of permutation combination, how many types, how many possible combinations would a 26 character alphabet set would come for DONOTENTER for these 10 letters? So you do 26 PR, that formula you have to apply. It will be millions and almost a trillion combination. The do not enter is randomly just a word there. No, I understand that this is not a random word. It is very specific. Someone understands he is conveying a message to me. Whether it is a risky place or not, that I don't know. Whether it is a private property, therefore he does not want me to enter, that also I don't know. Whether it's for my caution or for his preservation of his property, those things are secondary, but these are primary things which I'll come to know. One more thing I'll come to know is, oh, if this is written on a piece of wood or a piece of metal, then they have a science of metallurgy there, right? If it is written by paint, then there is a science of paint, and so on. So basically, it's like, imagine you're one of the first persons on the creation and you go and you just go there, right? Also, I understand one more specific thing. When the message is given, do not enter, that means they also understand that amongst all those species on the earth, there is only human being who is going to come there. Why? Because for a dog or a bird or a cat, these things wouldn't be written, even for eagles. Correct? I hope this point is very clear, because this is how we are going to understand this term. Now, when this term athato brahma jigyasa, now when you see, suppose you see this term athato brahma jigyasa, this athaha, this means now, therefore, brahma jigyasa, inquire unto the supreme truth. When you hear this statement, what does this mean? What does this word therefore means? Whenever you hear whenever in a sentence you hear therefore this means that, what does the word therefore, how many conclusions can you come out with therefore? Okay, now you can help me build this argument.
Something has been established already, and then we are trying to draw.
Exactly. This is a very, very important point. There is a whole premise before this word therefore comes. And there is a lot of reasoning which is coming before the word therefore. And in a conclusion, it is coming, therefore inquire to the supreme truth. So the analysis is done such that this word athato, therefore this word athato also, therefore this word therefore means, who can understand this word athato brahma jigyasa? Is it possible by any means that an animal would exactly understand what that means? No. The ability to understand and even investigate, no matter, let's say you were dull, but after thousands and thousands or millions of years out of the development of language, you are going to understand the true meaning of that word, which you can make a parrot or a dog or an animal say stand up, sit down. It doesn't really understand the implied meaning of those words, but it understands those vibrations and frequencies and acts accordingly. For a human being, he understands something over and above the spoken words. That is why when we hear a word, sometimes we feel like to cry. Oh, this word reminded me of so and so. For us, words are not words or not just sounds. They are sounds with expressions and emotions and so on. Correct? And then even beyond that, we try to go to feeling and reasoning and so on, which is a human being. So therefore, this word Athato Brahma Jigyasa, therefore, is limited to human beings. And now that you are a human being, therefore, it is mandatory, it's an obligatory function for you to perform of what? Inquire unto the truth, because as a species, it is only you who have this ability. This is the meaning. Sometimes in the gross workings of our life, being busy with trying to just uplift ourselves from poverty or from convenience to greater convenience, from less recognition to great recognition, we keep engaged ourselves in so many activities, and we do forget the main goals of our lives. This is the reason why in so many different formats, in so many different shastras, through innumerable stories and situations of life, human being is taught to inquire about the supreme truth in different ways. Every single story of Srimad Bhagavatam or the Ramayana or the Mahabharata or the whole discussion of Gita and so on, it's just reminding us only one particular thing, that we are not this body and we are the spirit soul. Think beyond the illusion. There's one beautiful story which comes. There was once a king, a very good king. He used to do a lot of good activities in his kingdom. He was a very favorite king of the subjects, and he had designated few hours a day to meet the general public. So it is explained that every day different people of the kingdom would come and meet him. Some ordinary people, some great people, some musicians, some artists, sometimes householders, sometimes peasants, and so on. And it's a customary thing that whenever somebody goes and meets somebody who is powerful, or a king for that matter, you always carry some gifts to whatever capacity you can afford and whatever you can give. That's customary when you go to meet somebody. So people would come, the farmers would come with some of their crops, somebody will come with fruits, other people who were in some form of art, somebody would bring a painting, and so on. Whoever was in whichever form of art, whatever he could offer, they would come and give gifts to the king. So one day the king saw that a sadhu came in his palace, and this sadhu, before coming, he was thinking that what should I give to the king? Now, because he was a forest dweller, he had nothing, he had no specific gifts to offer. So he just brought a fruit, and that too, not that a fruit which was plucked from the tree, not that fresh fruit. It was a fruit which had fallen, and he brought that fruit and gave to the king. So the king saw the fruit. He was not impressed, because what could impress a king? A person who is enjoying hundreds and hundreds of items of luxurious foods. What could one simple fruit do? I remember a couple of years ago, I was in one of the countries of Middle East, and we were having lunch with one of the advisors to the king. So I just asked him that what does the king have for lunch and breakfast every day? So he said, it was so interesting to know. He said that we generally have something around 300 items for lunch, around 200 to 250 items for breakfast. I said, do so many people come to eat? I thought that because he's running a kingdom and people will. He said, no, he's just there with one or two people. But then we don't know what he could like that day, right? And because he's a king, we should be ready with everything. So I was pretty amazed and also shocked. So I asked him, what quantity do you make? So he said, we have to make full quantity. Like there are fixed size of bowls. So you cannot just make a small bowl which you offer to God like that. So they make a good quantity because the king could suddenly come with 10 people or 5 people. So you need to have the full meal ready. And then there's a whole table. 300 items means you can imagine all kinds of Mexican, continental, Indian, Arabian, and so on. Everything. They have many, many items there. All forms of meat and so on. So I said, what do you do after that? He said, after that, the kitchen staff eat some of it and rest of all is thrown away. What a colossal waste of resources. Anyways, why? Because he's a king. For him, small things don't really matter. One who is always amidst lot of resources and facilities, for them these things are too small. Imagine this sadhu coming with an ordinary fruit. I'm just trying to put it in context. What could that mean? What could any gifts by ordinary citizen mean to a king, and especially if it's just an ordinary fruit? So the king gave that fruit to his minister who was just standing nearby. Even the fruit didn't mean anything to the minister, just like for this advisor to the king, he was telling that so much food is just thrown away even by the staff because you are going to make as much in just 3-4 hours. So somebody, you may be an ordinary person, but if you are associated with an extraordinary person, you are always having extraordinary habits, kind of. Like I always say that even in the poorest of the temples, the pujaris have a lot of nice prasad because good bhoga is always offered to Krishna, right? So you may not have many other facilities, but you are always enjoying all the delicacies. So this minister also did not know what to do of the fruit. So he thought, what should I do? And he thought to just throw it away eventually, but he did not throw it because he thought that what if the king asks for the fruit? You never know. Kings are always in their own world all the time. They could just decide. And so he went into one of the small rooms in the palace in one corner and he just threw that fruit. Next day, this sadhu came again with the same fruit, gave to the king. Every person who would come and give gifts to the king, they would actually either glorify the king or appreciate the king neutrally. Some would go for with big glories, expressing gratitude. Some would just thank them, and some would also give any complaints that, so and so has happened, I need justice, and so on. But this sadhu, he would just come silently, give the fruit and go away. Again, he gave it to the minister. The king asked him, so my dear sadhu, can I do anything for you? He would say nothing. He would just walk away. The third day, the king came, the sadhu came, gave the fruit, without saying anything, went away. And so on, it went on for weeks after weeks after weeks and months. After many months, this king was really disturbed. He thought something is going on. I need to ask, why is this person doing this? So he decided that I'm now going to ask this sadhu today if he comes. So the sadhu suddenly comes one day. So he's still coming. And this day, the king takes the fruit and tells, my dear sadhu, can I do anything for you? He does not respond. And again, the sadhu just walks away. And the king, today, instead of handing over the fruit to the minister, he hands it over to his favorite, one of his pet monkeys, which was also in the palace with him that day. So he just gave it to the monkey. What does a monkey do immediately if it saw a fruit? It will start eating it. So monkey started munching on the fruit, and while it was munching, after a couple of minutes, suddenly the monkey spat out something. And to everybody's surprise, it started tingling on the floor. And when they saw that that was a very sparkling diamond of the size and quality which was never seen before, and it was not part of king's treasury. And here the king got surprised. Oh my God. This monkey ate the fruit and there was diamond. The minister, when he saw this, he was also amazed and also kind of shocked that all these fruits which we are getting all these months probably have a diamond. The king looked at the minister in a sense of disgust that I have been giving you fruits all this while and you never told me that there was a diamond. The minister understood that the look of the king is as if he is a thief. And the minister immediately, to clarify, he said that I have all those fruits. He had not eaten them, right? We know that he was just throwing it in a room, considering that king may ask for those fruits anytime. The minister was thinking, thank God, I did not just throw them away. So both of them, they rushed to that place. So that place was stinking because a lot of rotten fruits in that particular place. But amidst all the rot were these sparkling diamonds. The king was amazed and he thought that this sadhu must be having something more special than the diamonds, because he's just giving these diamonds as a charity to me and asking nothing in return. So he must be up to something. This cannot be an ordinary thing. So the king decides, he asked the minister, I want to meet that sadhu, go and fetch him. He said, no, it's not possible to call him now. We have heard that at the outskirts of the kingdom, near a crematorium, lives this particular sage. So you need to go there. So the king decides next day immediately to go and meet him. So the king goes to the outskirts of the kingdom in the daytime. So the meeting with general public is cancelled, which is a very special thing. That shows his eagerness. And he goes to that sadhu and tells him, he sees that sadhu was something like a tantric who was up to something. And he says that, my dear king, my dear sadhu, you have been trying to convey something to me which I do understand. Now that I saw a diamond coming out through your fruit which you have been giving. So please tell me what you want to convey. I need to know something. Is there something I need to know? I'm sure that you do not want any benefits of the kingdom, because somebody who can own these many diamonds can always have a palace, right, by himself. You could be a king any day, but there's something beyond. So please tell me, what can I do for you? So the sadhu says, come to me in the midnight and make sure that you come alone with no soldier and no entourage. So the king says, here in the crematorium? Sadhu says, yes. So it's midnight time now. The king comes alone there. He's just with a sword. And the sadhu says, okay, I have something to tell you, but first you must accomplish a task. You see a tree nearby there? So there was a tree little bit far away, approximately with what would take around 15 minutes, 20 minutes to walk. So he says, see that tree there? There is a ghost on that tree. I want you to fetch him. So this person goes. And as he goes towards near the tree, he sees that there is a dead body. And suddenly, as he comes close to the dead body becomes alive. And then he understands that this is the ghost which I have to fetch for that person. So that's a beautiful story in our Vedic, not in our Vedic, but in our Indian folk tales. The stories of Vikram and Betal, if you all know. So the king goes and tries to catch hold of the ghost. And he finally he's successful in catching the ghosts, that ghost particularly. So the ghost tells that why do you want me captive? The king says, I want to take you to the sadhu who is going to tell me something. The ghost said that that person is not a genuine sadhu, he has some other intentions. But he says, okay, whatever it is, but I need to take you to him. So he says, okay, there is only one condition in which you can keep me captive. I will tell you a wonderful story. If after the end of the story, I'll also ask you some questions. If you answer any question, you will lose control over me and I will be back to where you caught me from. If you can remain silent, then you will be successful. However, so obviously the king thought that, okay, I'll keep my mouth shut. So he says, no, but if your mind processes any thought after the story I tell you, then your mind, and you don't speak, if there's a thought which comes in your mind, but you don't speak, then your brain will burst in 1,000 pieces. So make sure that you are silent. He says, okay. So it's okay, I'll tell you a beautiful story. So I'll tell you now that beautiful story. Okay. So he says there was once upon a time, there was a guru who had 3 disciples. So this guru also had a beautiful daughter who was of the same age as the 3 disciples. In an unfortunate course of events, this daughter died. So what happened that these 3 disciples studying in the Gurukul, they were also too friendly with the daughter. And not only that, they had also, all the 3 had developed some sense of affection for her. So when this daughter died, all of them got so disturbed because it was like the love of their life. Like you can imagine teenage, in teenage time when you feel affectionate for a woman or a man, you get overwhelmed with that affection. So one of the persons, he was so deeply distressed that he thought that I cannot survive anymore. And he started just chanting the names of that daughter and just uselessly started wandering in the places near the river banks there, doing nothing. Just that, oh, she died, crying her names, writing her names on rocks and sands and trees and just crying. The other disciple, the other lover rather, he felt also so distressed, but he thought we must do something. So he performed the final rites. He thought that at least she should get Sadgati. So in a very sensible manner, he does something constructive and does the final rites. The third one was a very special kind of disciple. He had heard about a sadhu in the land somewhere nearby who had some mystical powers that if you brought the skeleton of the dead person, just by using the skeleton and some mantras, he would add flesh to the skeleton and bring that person back to life. So what he did, he took all the bones of that deceased girl and he started searching for this sadhu. And in a couple of months, he found that tantric who actually by the spell of mantras and using those bones, he brought her back to life. Now this girl was back to life. The news spread. She came back to the ashram. All the 3 disciples or the 3 lovers of that girl, they also came back. And all of them desired that now we want to marry you. So now it is not possible that she could get married to 3 of them. She felt affectionate to all the 3 of them, and she felt that all the 3 truly loved me. They did something to their capacity in their understanding in different ways, but all of them love me. But now she's thinking, whom should I select as a worthy candidate who actually deserves to be my husband? So this ghost asked the king, tell me, O king, who deserves to be the husband of this girl? So this is my question to you. Any answers? Unmute yourself and give some answers.
Maybe the second disciple, because he's the one who did the final rites, and after which the third person was at least able to get the bones for his part.
Okay. Please feel free. there must be some answers, right? Which must have come in your mind.
Yeah, just hold on, please.
Yeah, the one who did the final rites, Prabhuji? Because the third one should be more like a father who brought her to life, I believe. It's just
Okay. Yes, any more
The
answers?
first one is the suitable one, I think.
Okay, give me the reason why.
Okay, so the one who did the final rites, he's done the duty as a son to the parents or whatever. So he cannot be regarded because he's taken the duty of a son, and the one who gave life took the role of a parent who gives life. So the second and the third cannot.
Okay, so very good. So the king gives the answer. The first one deserves to be the husband, because somebody who is truly in love, he lost his senses and he's just deeply into that and just chanting her name. So he deserves to be. Not the second one, because he did the final rites and did the role of a child. And not the third one, because he played the role of a father. So this is the logic. So the king is happy. But the ghost says, however, my condition was you should not give an answer. It was not important for you to specifically tell who is right and who is wrong. Your specific duty was simply to understand this, that do not generate a thought. Your main duty was to carry the ghost and take him from this point to this point. But because you got distracted in a story, which even though you solved it perfectly right, was not the main thing. With this, we understand many things. So what happened that after that, the ghost goes away. The king again fights with the ghost, wins him over, drags him along, and then he conveys a second story and third story, and so on. There were 24 stories which were spoken. And all those 24 times, the king got stuck in those stories to resolve those stories and forgot the main thing to be done. But it was during the 25th story that king's mind did not generate any thought, and he was successful to take the ghost from one place to another. So this is also for many of us when we read the Shastras. Scriptures tell us that we have this human form of life, Brahma Jigyasa, meant to inquire to the supreme truth. And in this human form of life, the goal of our life is we may start from the point of view of body and identification with a certain family or certain values, certain traditions, and so on. But it is to go from this to the next level. However, what happens is, just like there were many stories which were coming in Vikram's life, there are many stories which happen in our lives. We do an education in a certain manner, we are poor, we become rich, we are stupid and we become intelligent, and so on. There are so many stories which keep happening in our life, and some are genuinely done nicely by us, and sometimes in the story of our lives we actually become successful. That just like Vikram resolved a conflict and gave the right answer, similarly I was in a particular difficult situation in such an impoverished condition, now I am successful. I'm in a very affluent country and I have a good home, and so on. I'm resolving many conflicts in my own stories of my own life. However, just resolving the stories of our lives, the complexities of our lives, the complexities of our life stories is not exactly the purpose of human form of life. Just like for Vikram, you gave a perfect answer, you gave a right answer, and he didn't give a right answer one time, he gave a right answer 24 times. This whole exercise was just to come to this point that are you able to see beyond the actual story which is happening? Are you able to see that there is a duty or there is a role which you need to perform beyond the stories, beyond these superficial stories? In a similar manner, when we keep reading the Bhagavatam, when we read Gita, Krishna tells this to Arjun, that my dear Arjun, why are you so bewildered about what is right and what is wrong and what is dharma and what is this and that? You are bewildering. You are bewildered in all these manners is only simply because your heart is overwhelmed with this thought that you are this body. However, if and how do you understand that you are this body? Because you see in front of the mirror and you see and you recognize that whatever I see is that my body. So Krishna is telling Arjun that actually you are not this body. Please assign a different value to your own self. You have assigned this value. Those of you who are in IT and programming, you know, you always assign some value. So to the sense of I-ness, you have assigned the value of body. He's saying assign the value of soul, Atma. This body is something which keeps changing. Yes, you need to take care of the body and other things, but however, the main goal of life is not limited to that. I'm not saying that we ignore that, but the main goal of life is not limited to that. It is over and above. It is beyond that. In the 13th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, there is a very beautiful, there are a set of beautiful verses which Arjun asked Krishna that what is kshetra and what is kshetragya. So Krishna says this body is kshetra. Kshetra means a boundary, a field. Whenever you say a field, means field has a boundary. So when something has a boundary means you cannot function beyond that boundary. You are limited to that. For example, if I'm a human being, my kshetra cannot be water because I cannot survive in water. So that my kshetra is limited to earth, air, and ether. And also, as once I have a male body, I am limited to the male part of functioning, even in the human form of existence. Once I have a certain language and characteristics to a country and I have an identity of a passport that limits myself or binds myself to the rules and regulations of that country. That is kshetra. And Krishna beautifully explains, whoever understands this kshetra and knows this kshetra is actually kshetragya. So please try to understand this beautiful thing. Whenever you look in front of the mirror, what do you see? Do you see an Atma or you see a Sharir? Do you see a body or you see soul? You see a body, right? We never see ourselves as a soul. So it is explained, the very fact that you think that you are this body means that you are not this body. This appears very contradicting. I'll repeat again. The very fact that you think that you are this body means that you are not this body. Because suppose I were standing in front of a mirror and suppose this thing is also in front of a mirror. Now both of us are in front of a mirror. Now there is a reflection of this form and there is reflection of this form. I'm understanding what is this. This is a reflection. That reflection is of this phone and that reflection is of this. Can the phone understand that there is a reflection of two things? No, the phone cannot understand. That means a non-living thing can never understand its own reflection or anything. So this is what they say. The very fact that you think that you're this body means you're not this body, because if you are just the body, if you are just like dead matter, because body is always dead matter. If you are just like an object, like a body, then you would not be thinking. So the very fact that you are thinking that I am this body is a proof in itself that you are not the body, because if you are simply the body, you could not be thinking. If you are simply an object, you could not be thinking. That object never thinks I am that phone. So this 13th chapter is a technical analysis of this whole process of body, kshetra, kshetragya, and so on. So we need to understand, being a human being, the only sole purpose is to understand this truth of our life, is to understand Krishna at the end of the. When you go in bhakti literatures, you understand, once you understand yourself, once you understand Atma and Paramatma, all that remains to accomplish is just pure loving service unto that supreme truth, whom we are searching in everything. Our entire quest for whatever we do in this life is simply to come to this beautiful conclusion, to have a meaningful and wholesome relationship, a wholesome experience. Deep in our hearts, we are longing for that wholesome experience. And at the level of the body, we never ever get it. So this is very, very, although these are very simple terms, kshetra, kshetragya, human form of life, inquire to the truth, these are not as simple as they seem. Actually, they are simple, but because of our too much of entanglement in the materialistic things, we tend to stop thinking on such basic common sense. And that's why they become very, very hard to understand. However, observe the calling of your soul. Focus on what you have been wanting all the time. Whatever you have acquired, whatever you have got, still deep within the heart, there is a sense of vacuum. There is not a completeness in our heart, only because of that. Because we are searching for something, but in a wrong manner. And this is the reason why there are so many literatures, so many stories talking about the same thing, focusing on the supreme truth, coming back to our own selves, and the method in which we can come back to our own selves to gain a greater, wholesome, fulfilling experience of life. So in this new year, please make this resolution, all of you. If you haven't yet developed this habit of reading Shastra every day, Prabhupada has given this in very simple ways. And if you want to develop more analysis and think more, you can do that. But just these few words, few paragraphs, few purports, every day, just read 2 shlokas. Within a year, you will complete it. So many nice, wonderful truths are given and make your life rich, wholesome, and worthwhile. Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So over to the host.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. It was a very brilliant class. And we would like to give a thank you note. Our dear Prashant Prabhu will give a thank you note. Prashant Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Jagannath Prabhuji. Thank you so much for the wonderful class this new year. I like taking notes, and I took so many notes. But Prabhuji, for me personally, what I took away was how you connected our human form of life and its purpose to the world that we are in, and how, everything else is bound, everything else has a purpose, but we are just wandering around without a purpose. And our true purpose is, that you explained, is, Tattva Brahma Jignasa, and it's to inquire about the spiritual truth. And we go about our lives doing all these other things and getting stuck in our own stories and solving our own problems, but ultimately we lose sight, or we routinely lose sight birth after birth, that we are really just there to inquire about Krishna, learn about Krishna, and at the end of the day, Chaitanya, that you said, right, is serve Krishna with all of our love, and perform devotional service to Krishna. That thank you so much, Prabhuji. I hope we can have you in person sometime soon, and I hope you're able to give us more of your association and more of your classes. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. One more time. Purnamasi Mataji, can you please unmute and introduce Sachi Devi Dasi? our special Kirtanier for today.
Thank you. Thank you. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Hare Krishna of Temple of Austin welcomes you all. Again, we had a wonderful start with Madhurashtakam. We had an exalted speaker, His Grace Jagannath Priya Prabhu, speak a wonderful lecture. And now I'm so grateful and humbled and have the privilege of introducing you, Sachi Devi Mataji. Thank you, Mataji, for for being here and I know you're going to mesmerize us with your beautiful voice and kirtan. Sachi Devi Mataji, and I'm honored to even introduce you. Thank you so much. I'm so blessed. Sachi Devi Mataji is a South African artist based out of India. Her performances range from classical to pop, kirtan and bhajans to folk to Bollywood. In fact, she allows her voice to roam as a free spirit, singing from her soul. But as she says, I do not aim to entertain, but to create a positive shift in the consciousness of my listeners, as music is connection to God. She had an interest from childhood to spread a message of peace through her music. Her first performance was at the age of 8, and at 11, she had the fortune to see and hear from Srila Prabhupada. By the age of 14, she had sung to some of the largest audiences in South Africa, raising funds for old age homes, orphanages, charitable trusts, missionaries, and spiritual organizations. Apart from winning awards for her singing in childhood, she also had blessings to be on the stage performing with legends like Sri Mahendra Kapoor and Sri Kishore Kumar. She had worked with prominent artists in India such as Sri Anup Jalota, Sonu Nigam, Udit Narayan, and Adnan Sami. She learns music under her guru, Pandit Sudhindra Bhaumik, and received second initiation from His Holiness Sachinandan Swami Maharaj in ISKCON. She has also produced more than 15 albums under her label, Urja Music. The track Govinda Madhava from album Swagatam Krishna was nominated at Just Plain Folks Music Awards USA in India Music category. Her single Manzil Tu Hi was at number 29 on iTunes South Africa top 100 in world music. The album Krishna, the flute player, received rave reviews in USA and appeared at number 14 on the US Billboard chart in September 2016. It was also included in the music appreciation and world music classes at Emerson College in Boston in October and received a silver certificate for outstanding achievement at Global Music Award, California. Sachi Devi also teaches singing online. She has designed a unique and holistic method of teaching voice culture based on the ancient scriptures that not only helps vocalists to improve their technique, but also discover themselves. In short, she trains her students to receive music in their voice as a means to the path to divinity. She received the International Achiever Award on 2nd June 2018 from the President of South Africa, Honorable Cyril Ramaphosa, I'm sorry if I spelled that wrong, Ramaphosa, at South African Music Awards, becoming the first Indian South African to receive the highest award. Having started her career at the age of 8, this year, 2022, Sachi Devi celebrates 50 golden years in music and seeks your blessings that she can continue to sing for Krishna. Right now, Mataji is in Govardhan singing for us. Thank you so much. Thank you. We're so blessed. Mataji, thank you. So honored. Satrupa Prabhu will be doing the Aarti as you lead us. You are the cherry of the cake right now. You're like the end for this beautiful program. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Please start.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for inviting me to be here. And I must apologize, I don't have a proper kirtan team because due to travel, I've been asked on arrival in Delhi to keep 7 days quarantine just to ensure that we are still negative. So I'm in a very small setup, but I'm in Govardhan, that's the biggest setup. So thank you very much. And can we start kirtan? Yeah.
Yes, please, please.
Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Srimate Bhakti Vedanta
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Ki Gadadhar Shivasari
विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवै गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमस्ते सरस्वती देवै गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna 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 Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna 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 Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय राधे श्याम राधे श्याम राधे श्याम जय राधे श्याम जय राधा दामोदर राधा दामोदर राधे जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव नमस्ते नरसिंहाय नमस्ते नरसिंहाय प्रहलाद लाद दायिने प्रहलाद लाद दायिने हिरण्यकाशिपु भक्षः शिलातङ्कालखानाय शिलातङ्कालखानाय इतो नरसिंहा परतो नरसिंहो इतो नरसिंहा परतो नरसिंहो यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहा यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहा बाहिरे नरसिंहो हृदये नरसिंहो बाहिरे नरसिंहो हृदये नरसिंहो नरसिंहामदिं शरणं प्रपद्ये नरसिंहामदिं शरणं प्रपद्ये तव कर कमल वरे राधा अद्भुत शृंगार दलिता हिरण्यकशिपो तनुभृंगा केशवधृता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे केशवधृता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव 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 जय नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव जय जय
Thank you so much, Mataji. Can you please continue if you can with the Kirtan, your choice?
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan Shri Govind Gopinath Madan Mohan Shri Govind Gopinath Madan Mohan Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan जय राधे जय कृष्ण जय वृंदावन श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन कालिंदी यमुना जय जय महागान कालिंदी यमुना जय जय महागान जय राधे जय कृष्ण जय वृंदावन जय राधे जय कृष्ण जय वृंदावन केशी घाट वंशी बट द्वादश कमान केशी घाट वंशी बट द्वादश कमान जहाँ सब लीला कोई लो श्री नंद नंदन जहाँ सब लीला कोई लो श्री नंद नंदन जय राधे जय कृष्ण जय वृंदावन जय राधे जय कृष्ण जय वृंदावन श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन श्री नंद यशोदा जय जय गोपदान श्री नंद यशोदा जय जय गोपदान श्री दामादि जय जय धेनुवत्सगान श्री दामादि जय जय धेनुवत्सगान जय वृषभानु जय कीर्तिदा सुंदरी जय वृषभानु जय कीर्तिदा सुंदरी जय पूर्णमासी जय अभिनादरी जय पूर्णमासी जय अभिनादरी जय राधे जय वृंदावन श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जय जय गोपीश्वर वृंदावन जय जय कृष्णा सखा बटु द्विज राज जय राम घाट जय रोहिणी नंदन जय जय वृंदावन बासी जत जन जय राधे जय कृष्णा जय वृंदावन जय राधे जय कृष्णा जय वृंदावन श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जय राधे जय कृष्णा जय द्विज पत्नी जय नागकन्यदान भक्ति तेजहारा पैलो गोविंद चरण श्री रास मंडल जय जय राधा श्याम जय जय रास लीला सर्व मनोराम जय जय उज्ज्वला रस सर्व रस सार परखिया भावे जहाँ ब्रजेते प्रचार श्री जानव पद पद्मा कोरिया स्मरण दीन कृष्ण दास कोहे नाम संकीर्तन जय राधे जय कृष्णा जय वृंदावन श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Jaya Radhe Shyam, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Sachidevi Mataji, for such a wonderful and soulful kirtan, for the pleasure of the lordships and dipping us in devotion. Though
Thank you
it is
for
very
giving me
odd
this
time for you, and thank you for immerse us in the devotion. And we are looking forward for more kirtans to our congregation, Mataji.
Oh, you're most welcome. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you very much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you all devotees for joining online and in temple. We are concluding our program, Sunday Feast program. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji will make some announcements.
Oh, sorry, Prabhu. Yeah, Prabhu.
Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna devotees, please stay online for a few minutes before we conclude. It was an amazing class by His Grace Jagannath Priya Prabhu and amazing kirtan by Our Grace Sachidevi Mataji. So I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to both of them, wonderful devotees. And also I'm incredibly grateful to all the kids and parents and grown-up devotees and the guests who participated in the 3 days of New Year celebrations. It was amazing. That's a wonderful way to welcome the new year. So this would not been, of course, have been possible without the enthusiastic efforts of so many devotees who volunteered for last 3 days. I would like to take this moment to thank them as well. So first, I would like to thank the leads. I may miss some names, so I would like to go through the leads of different services and and thank them. Pushpanjali Mataji and all the pujaris who did pujari services for last 3 days. We are very, very thankful to all of you. And Atma Maya Mataji and all the Matajis who cooked delicious prasadam for all of us for last 2 days, which was amazing prasadam. And Umesh Prabhu and Naya Mataji for temple interior and exterior decorations and also the website updates for our sweeties and so on. So Prabhu and Mataji, thank you very much. Then Prasanna Prabhu and all the Prabhus and Matajis who did cleaning services. We did complete Maha cleanup for New Year, and also every week this team does cleaning services. So we are very thankful. Then Satyarupa Prabhu for Kirtan services. He is leading our Sankirtan team. And thank you very much, Prabhu, and also for coordinating the special Sunday Feast program today. Thank you. And Kanan Prabhu and Sridevi Mataji, Sridevi Kanan Mataji for setting up the children's book table and also performing Rangoli services. You see a beautiful Rangoli in front of our temple, done by Shri Devi Kannan Mataji. So Prabhu and Mataji, thank you very much for your services. Radha Damodar Prabhu and Sunil Prabhu for setting up audio, video, and live telecast and everything. No, it's a beautiful experience we all had. It's because of Radha Damodar Prabhu and Sunil Prabhu. So we're very thankful to both of them. Then Veena Mataji for social media and online marketing and communications services. Very beautifully she has done. So thank you, Veena Mataji. Then Naresh Prabhu and Arundhati Mataji, thank you very much for all your selfless services. You helped us in decorating our altar. It was a beautiful service. Thank you. Achyuta Mataji, she's not here, for creating a beautiful flyer. It was very devotional flyers. So thank you, Achyuta Mataji, for that. Atma Maya Mataji, Sridevi Mataji, and all the Matajis who made beautiful garlands for our dear Lordships, Shri Shri Nitai Gaura Nataraj and Shri Shri Radha and Krishna. So thank you very much, all of you, for making wonderful garlands. Then Jai Subhadra, Didi, and Radha Damodar Prabhu for purchasing items needed for the 3-day event. Thank you very much. Then I would like to thank a special person. My sincere thanks to Grace Purnamasi Mataji, for her excellent coordination of all this 3-day event, end to end. She has been planning for months, and she did an excellent and a seamless service. She spent countless number of hours working with different leads and working with different aspects of the program, so to the minute details. And she perfectly executed the program for the pleasure of our Lord, our deities. So thank you very much, Mataji. Also, you see a beautiful vases on the altar for the pleasure of our deities. That is done by Purnamasi Mataji. She worked 6-7 hours continuously making the vases. We are very thankful to you, Mataji. And also now we pray to our deities, Shri Nitai Gaura Nataraj, the most beautiful deities, and the most beautiful deities, Shri Radha and Krishna, to bless each and every one of you and your family, so we can always be engaged in the eternal service. So with that, I like to make a quick temple announcements, then we'll conclude the program. Today's Sunday Feast is sponsored by His Grace Harinama Amrita Prabhu and Her Grace Sugopi Mataji. Today is their wedding anniversary. So thank you very much, Prabhu and Mataji, for your kind donation. Also, we had 4 birthdays last week. Wonderful devotees, Pankaj Prabhu, Payal Mataji, Dhruva, and Geeta Madhura Mataji. So these wonderful Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis have appeared last week. So let us chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra 3 times for their holistic well-being. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you. The second announcement is we are starting a New Year program. It's a new year, so we want to start a new program, preaching program. So we are starting a program called Gita Ashraya, taking shelter of Bhagavad Gita as it is by Srila Prabhupada. So this program is a little different from traditional program. We would like to, this program will be a discussion based, meaning any questions you have in life and you are looking for an answer, please bring your questions to this program. We'll look at Bhagavad Gita as it is by Srila Prabhupada and reading his purports, and we'll find answers. So that's what this program is all about. It's called Gita Ashraya. If you need more information and you want to sign up, please contact Veena Mataji and she will be able to sign you up. Also, we have a special program scheduled this coming weekend, Friday and Saturday. We are going to have a 2-day seminar on the topic of understanding pure bhakti. So the first session is going to be on Jan 7th, Friday, 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Central Time. And second session will be on Saturday, Jan 8th, from 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Central Time. So where we will, the discussion will be from Nectar of Devotion by Srila Rupa Goswami. It will be a beautiful session. If you'd like to know more about the program, please contact Veena Mataji. She will be able to give you. So with that, we'll conclude our first Sunday Feast program for this year, 2022. So I wish you all a very, very happy, healthy, safe year 2022. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare
Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you. We'll end our Zoom session. Thank you, Prashant Prabhu. It was nice. Thank you, note.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thanks for your thanks note.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
For the opportunity.
Hare
So
Krishna.
we don't on